money, I realized that I didn't just have shame around earning it. I had shame around keeping it and enjoying it and receiving it. Like, the shame was a 360 situation. Take some makeup wipes now that I've gotten it all over my hands. Back when I was still very controlled by that shame and buying into everything that I was taught in religion and the way I should view and approach money, my biggest fantasy was that I would marry a man who would be like a strong leader and take care of me and would be able to provide enough for me that I wouldn't feel so fucking scared all the time. Because when I didn't have any money, I literally was so full of fear all of the time. The literal obsession with marrying a rich man that society has taught so many women is the biggest bunch of bullshit that has ever been fed to us. And ultimately, it is a fucking distraction. Women having financial independence is one of the biggest threats to patriarchy because dependence has historically been one of its greatest tools to oppress women. You know I love talking about the superficial perks of having money, like hiring a chef and going on fancy trips, having nice jewelry, like everything. None of that was normal to me growing up at all. But underneath all that has never been the thing driving me. What honestly drives me, and I think a lot of other women can relate to this, is freedom from control. Maybe you've had to watch a woman you love or experienced it yourself where you have to stay in a relationship or a job or a living situation where you were not being respected, all because you didn't have the financial freedom to leave. Like, where were you gonna fucking go? To me, that is the greatest luxury money could ever buy, is the freedom to leave. Because there were multiple times in my life where I did not have that. Some of you guys know this, but during the pandemic, I lived in what's called a content house. A content house, if you don't know, is basically like this thing that happened in 2020 where a bunch of, like, I guess management companies created these houses where TikTokers would go and live and collaborate, and the managers or like the owners of the houses would take a percentage of all your income, and you would just like live there, make videos, try to make money. Like, you've probably heard of the Hype House, right? I was not in any of like the big cool ones. Ours like didn't even have a name. We never like announced a name. It was very fucking weird. There's so much lore of my life that I need to honestly sit down and give you like the rundown of how I got to LA, because I came from a super small town in Missouri and the story is fucking crazy. But anyways, the way I got to LA was that I got offered a room in this content house, and the exchange was that they would manage me and they would take a percentage of my income. The flip side of that as well is that I did not have nearly as many followers as the rest of the creators in the house. I kind of had to not beg to get in, but I had to do a lot more to be in that house than the other creators did. Like, I actually worked for the manager. I was doing all the emails. I was organizing the brand deals. I was working at that management company, and I was a creator. I always had